Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of our show, For the Love of the Game. I am Ken Pangilinan, joined here by Dino Lee, and we are now on episode 24, our very first episode for the month of December. So yan, last month na po ng year 2020, and we have another special guest for tonight who is apparently all the way overseas, halfway across the globe. So yan. So mukhang kaka-lunch lang niya ngayon, Dino. So yun. I would like to thank first our viewers who are tuning in, watching this episode live on Facebook and on YouTube. So especially yung mga nanonood sa amin since episode 1 pa lamang back in June. So ayan, so welcome po sa inyong lahat. And while you're at it, please like and share this episode on your Facebook pages. So yun. So pati yung YouTube link, pa-share na rin po if you may po. So yan. And of course, I would like to promote our social media platforms. So we are currently on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. So you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at For the Love of the Game PH. We're also on Twitter at FTLOTGPH. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's For the Love of the Game. So yan, live po tayo. Facebook Live and YouTube. So yan, hit the subscribe button. So yung like, follow button, paki-click na din po yan. So yan, and before we go into the episode, so yun, acknowledge ko lang yung ating mga previous guest. So first off, si Tonino Gonzaga, probably watching this episode. Ayun, thank you very much, Tonino. Always sharing sa story niya yung mga trailers, yung mga images na inaano namin, pinopromote namin prior to the episode itself. And of course, Coach Sandy Respacochaga of the TNT Tropang Giga. So ayan, sila nasa game 2 ngayon ng PBA Bubble. They are going up against the Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings. So yan, PBA Finals Bubble po yan. So yan, good luck po sa inyo. And ayan, so guys, since nandito na rin lang kayo, I would like to ask you, what are you excited about this episode for tonight? So ako, I'm really looking forward to take a deep dive sa story ng ating special guest. Yun na nga, napakalayo niya. He's been away from the country for almost a year already, and I'm sure excited din siyang makita yung mga comments, questions, mga words of adoration, appreciation. So yan, just keep it coming, and I'm sure our special guest will totally love that. So yan, Dino?
Yeah, ako, Ken, just to add to what you just shared earlier, I think what I'm excited about for tonight's guest, and kumbaga, dapat ma-excite din yung mga nanonood sa atin tonight kasi, there's only a handful. For every Olympics, there's only a handful of athletes that go to the Olympics coming from our country, which is the Philippines. I mean, sad to say, but this individual right here is the first one to qualify, for the Tokyo Olympics, and we're in a presence of someone na bilang lang talaga sa bansa natin na Pilipinas, and that's why I was sharing earlier na yun yung doon nagagaling excitement ko kasi we're in the presence of someone really special, a really special athlete right now. So, but before all of that, of course, I would like to, particularly for our first-time viewers, like to share our mission here at For the Love of the Game. And our mission really is to create platforms and communities to, support, provide career opportunities for aspirants, and at the same time, help athletes, coaches, sports professionals, sports entrepreneurs, sports organization through our platform here and help them elevate your game to the next level. So that's why we're bringing in the cream of the crop of Philippine sports right now in particular. Of course, down the road, we want to have people from the international scene. But as of the moment, we bring in the cream of the crop, the best of the best, to share their insights, to share their journey, to share their stories, so that those lessons can be applied to your lives, guys. Those who are currently watching right now. So yan yung mission namin here at For the Love of the Game. And, just wanna request from you guys to support this episode by liking and sharing it on Facebook and on yung YouTube link din namin as well. So so that we can reach more people and we can inspire and motivate more people to be the best versions of themselves. So, and I think before we bring our guest in, we have certain rules of engagement for our episodes. Standard na namin yan. Of course, first off, this person is so far away from us. I think thousands of miles away from our country right now,
Yeah.
preparing for his upcoming tournaments, particularly the Olympics. So one way is to really appreciate this person. Baka it's been a long time since you've interacted with this person. You know this person. You became teammates with this person. You've competed against this person. You're friends with this person, or you get inspired, or you were inspired by this person in his journey. So one way is to appreciate our guests by commenting down below, so that we can, that he can, ayun lang, request namin para makita niya, and, he can shout you out sa episode natin tonight. And of course, number 2 is to, because this person's gonna share so many things for this episode for 1.5 hours. So share your learnings as well, no? Hindi lang, it's not just, this conversation is not just about me, Ken, and our guest for tonight, but it's also about you guys being able to engage with us by sharing your learnings. And last but not the least, because again, this is, if you have aspirations to be somewhat of an elite athlete with your chosen sport, I think this is a perfect opportunity, Ken. I think Ken would agree with me, and our guest would agree with me. Perfect opportunity to ask questions sa guest natin tonight, because handful lang ang umaabot sa Olympics, and I'm pretty sure this guy is considered to be one of the best in the world, which makes him an elite athlete. So if you want to be an elite athlete, now's your chance to ask questions sa guest natin for tonight. Right, Ken?
That's right. And yun na nga. So, wag na nating patagalin pa, Dino. Let's introduce our special guest for tonight. So, yun. So, our special guest for tonight is a multi-gold medalist in different tournaments, particularly the 30th SEA Games, the 30th Summer Universiade back in 2019, the 23rd Asian Athletics Championships, the 59th Ostrava Golden Spike, which was held during the pandemic in 2020, and nga, napaaraming record nito sa Asian Athletics Championship, sa SEA Games, sa National Juniors, and in the Philippines, and most notably, yung national record niya for pole vault outdoor was good for him to qualify for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. So before we bring him in, please watch this trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our special guest for tonight, all the way from Italy, none other than Philippine pole vault phenom, Mr. EJ Obiena.
Hey, what's up,
Hi,
guys?
EJ.
That's an awesome video.
Right. Of course, that's courtesy sa kay Bin Cuevas, who made that trailer for EJ for this particular episode. So I hope you liked it, EJ.
Oh, it is awesome.
Right. Yeah, I think before we even go further, we can just read a couple of comments from our viewers right now. So I think this is one, no? especially address to our guest for tonight. All the best, EJ from Ahia Juna. So I think, kilala mo pa ba siya? Naalala mo pa?
Yeah,
EJ?
of course. Of course, I remember. We used to compete in Chinese meet.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Ano
Yeah,
siya from Philippine Cultural College while
exactly.
you're from Chiang Kai-shek, 'di ba? So,
Exactly, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm from Grace, so at least, 'di ba? Pero hindi na tayo nagkaabot kasi mas matanda ako eh. Ayan. And of course, from Gab Ferreras, ako pa lang muna. Hehe. Hi bro, Ernest Obiena. At least may unang certified Tokyo Olympian na sa show pero sana makuha ni Heidelin ng slot. Great to see you as always even though we've been chatting together kapag tournaments. Yan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you wanna address si Jude saka si Gab?
Of course, see, Anya Jonah, thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well. I don't know what's happening now in the Philippines, but hopefully you guys are still active and still train, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next Filipino Chinese track and field competition or something, you know. And for Gab, you know, it's always nice, you know. Most of my athletics teams I actually catch in his Facebook shares, and it's just like it's cool, you know, to have someone this is so enthusiastic in Philippine sports, and it's amazing to actually have him here.
Right.
Yeah. May
There's
pa-apple pa. From
uh parang
Gina.
binaliktad, parang
Baliktad to eh.
Vanch
Vanch.
Clarin. Yeah. So I think
Yeah,
she
okay,
shared
Yeah.
cool.
it. She shared that.
Clarin.
Good evening, EJ. Yeah, baka you
Yeah,
wanna
in
shout out.
Instagram, in Instagram, yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Thank you for
she's
doing that.
one of your fans, I think, or followers on on your journey, no. So
Yeah,
yan yung ano ko. Yeah.
it's really appreciated.
Yeah, hi Vanch. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Of course, one of our close people dito sa For the Love kasi he's been tuning in with us since episode 2. And now we're almost quarter of a century, no? Na nag-tune in siya since episode 2. So, maybe you wanna shout him out, EJ, kasi sobrang this person has been supporting us since the start. So, good luck sa 2021, EJ.
Thank you very much for that, and I really appreciate this, you know, coming from Filipino people, and thank you for supporting the episodes because this kind of things actually help us athletes get some how do you say some good times. So it's always awesome to have you guys here and communicate with you.
Right. So of course, Ken, yung bagong kaibigan natin from the south, 'di ba? So pag magba-basketball tayo, kailangan sunduin ko pa siya from the north, 'di ba? So ganyan
Yeah. So
ka-special na kaibigan yan.
one-armed
So
mamba.
the warm-up Mamba who has met Kobe Bryant 3 times in her lifetime on a personal level.
Wow.
So Dino Kenneth Kenneth pala pangalan mo, Ken, eh, pero
Oo nga eh.
present mga sirs, yeah. So yeah, and of course we're in the presence of a just like Kobe, we're in the presence of a world-class athlete right now. So Kat, thanks for tuning in. And of course, ito, may nagpahabol, Emmanuel Corrales.
Shoot, this guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of you,
Yeah.
EJ.
Uh, Dude, I'm a bigger fan of this guy. He's crazy big
Yeah.
in Greece, and he's always cool. He's a good friend of mine. I stayed in his house when I was competing in Athens. Good kid and really good guy. I miss training with this guy, and one of the craziest one in the circuit too.
Right. And of course, there's another one. Gina Marconi, good noon, EJ, watching from Italy.
Oh, thank you very much for following me here in Italy. It's nice, you know, to find people outside of the Philippines too. It's crazy what sports can actually bring.
Right. It's being able to unite one race, I guess, or the world. I mean, for one particular event like the Olympics. And of course, from one of our interns here at For the Love, good day, Idol EJ, keep it up. And of course,
Thank
from
you very
Vanch
much.
as well. Good luck sa 2021. Safe training always.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and for supporting EJ. Alam ko naman, di naman kami ni Ken yung pinunta nyo dito, but you guys are here because of EJ. So, thank you for supporting our episode or supporting EJ in particular. So, maraming salamat.
Yeah. So yeah, EJ, hopefully you've had your lunch already. I think it's,
Yeah,
I don't know, 1 o'clock.
one almost 1 p.m. Yeah,
Ken,
Yeah.
no 1 p.m. already. Yeah.
May humabol, Ken. May humabol. Yung dad ni EJ, di
Yeah.
ba?
Nice.
Yon, yes. Buo na ang araw ko. Nandito yung dad ni EJ. Maybe one of the people has, supported EJ sa journey niya. Hello, Sir Emerson. Ikaw, EJ, baka you
Oh, yeah.
wanna send some here.
Of course, I miss my family. I miss everyone. I've been quite busy. I told you like this week, and I haven't really talked to them much. But of course, I miss them. They
Right,
know what I've been through, and they're probably the only ones who actually know from day one. So yeah,
right. Yeah, thank you, Sir Emerson.
Yeah. So speaking of family, EJ, you've been away from them for probably a year already because you've been there for since December 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong,
yeah.
right? And you haven't
After three
gone home
years,
since. Yeah. So it must have been really tough for you there. So yeah, just want to ask, like, it's been a year already. Like, how has the adjustment process been like for you, especially when the pandemic happened?
can I still say that I'm still adjusting? So yeah. So basically, I'm
Yeah.
still in a way, I'm still kind of adjusting. It's always something new, and the rules are ever so changing. And what's weird about it is sometimes like you kind of just feel that you're in the middle of everything, and like you feel so helpless. Um, yeah, but I just try to kind of control the things I can do and try to lessen the unnecessary, let's say, distractions, because it's less than 9 months going into Olympics. So this is the time to actually just kind of dig deep and just go move forward. As my coach says, every day is a new day for training and for improving yourself. And if this is not the best time to actually dig deep, when would it be? So yeah, just trying to keep focusing on the goals that I'm actually set my sights on way back in 2019. So yeah, so still adjusting, but we're still on path and we're still there.
Right. I'm just curious, EJ, with you mentioned, having you're still adjusting since I think we've been 8 months in the pandemic, with the coronavirus pandemic. Like, what in particular adjustments are you still like, kumbaga, keeping in tab right now? Is it really being away from home, or is it because the Olympic timeline was adjusted 1 year later, or is it something else?
Um, it's actually a mix of everything. That's why there's a lot of things going on, and that's why I say it's like I kind of feel sometimes like I'm in the middle of everything. When Italy kind of opened up and then started to have competition, that was a good kind of that somehow is a good news. So I was able to compete. That kind of distracted me, the fact that I was not at home, and but there's certain things that still kind of keeps on changing. It's like how is the Olympics actually going to be held, and there's going to be competitions this indoor, and even until now there's no affirmation if we're gonna. It's basically like how does that feel? It's like I haven't really stand on solid grounds, and like there's no. You're always like wait and see. You can't really plan so much ahead. So that's why I said like I'm still kind of adjusting to it because I'm so used to having okay. Let's say I'm gonna train for the indoors. Or there's gonna be an indoor championship this coming year, so I need to focus on that. All my trainings, all my upcoming competitions will actually lead up to that indoor championship. But this year we do have the indoors, but it's always possible to be actually be moved, and then we don't really have we have a calendar, but it's always you know wait and see. Maybe the competition gets canceled, and those kind of things are still
Right.
bothering me, and not bothering me in a bad way, but it's in my mind in some shape or form. So a lot of different things, just the new rules as well, the training center, the rules that we kind of keep applying and kind of try to keep improving, so the spread of the virus wouldn't happen inside the training center. Of course, the risk of it actually getting close. So yeah, just those kind of things.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So EJ, actually, your mom is also tuning in right now. So Dino, yan, may comment. So hello EJ, we are watching. Keep safe. So both your parents. So
They're very
yeah,
supportive, as you guys can see.
Right. And I'm sure they miss you, so they miss you badly kasi it's been so long, di ba? Like I think
yeah.
yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. And
It's
of
been a
Is it
course
while. If
coming
I, yeah.
and I think this is coming from Katan din, here to support EJ talaga, guys. Alam ko naman di kami yung sinupport mo dito, si EJ talaga. Uh, I was amazed seeing his trailer video, full support all the way. Good luck, idol.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a
yeah.
good friend of yours, huh?
No, I haven't met her in person. I just met her via Instagram. Because apparently
Oh wow.
she's good friends with Agatha Wong, who was
Oh,
our
okay.
guest on our pre last week.
That's
So
yeah.
parang yeah, so parang she followed us and then I followed her and then I talked to her na tas naging friends na namin. So, you
Oh,
know,
that's nice. That's how it kind of starts.
there's magic to the pandemic, 'di ba? Like I'm just curious, EJ, with the way things are going now, and how much of a disruptive force this coronavirus pandemic kumbaga kumbaga how we see it is being a major disruption to the whole world. Like, was there a light bulb moment or major realizations or learnings for you in particular?
A light bulb moment. I learned a lot. I grew a lot as an athlete this year and as a person. It's like you learn to kind of appreciate the small things this year and kind of taking it step by step. I think that's one of the good things that the pandemic kind of brought to each and every one of us to kind of actually appreciate the small things that we normally wouldn't even care. And it's not something that we as people actually like anyone actually kind of focus on, just being with the family. And we always kind of look forward, okay, what's going to happen on a Friday night, or what's going to be ongoing in this weekend. Yeah, when I go to the mall, and when this things kind of get stripped, you kind of see what's actually important in life, and like the family, the relationship that you have, just taking care of those. That's one of the things. In the athlete side of things, I used to complain a lot as an athlete that, oh, come on, the training center is like this and that, I don't have a really good place to jump. And when everything kind of just closed down, and then you start training at home, you appreciate oh, shoot, I'm actually very lucky to actually have a good training center, and,
Yeah.
start to realize that how much it actually affects you to not also be able to train. Just having that, well, so basically, when the pandemic hit, we train, but we train at the house. We don't have the same amount of training time normally as when we have the training facility. So you have more time to kind of dwell on your mind, so kind of deal with your, I'll say, like, inner demons, or maybe your mind. So mental health is very important, and I learned about that also this year a little bit. So a bunch actually, and of course, I think the best thing that this year actually gave me is that it gave me more time. It gave me more time to kind of um, believe in myself even more for this coming Olympics. It's an additional 1 year to actually prepare physically, but actually at the same time mentally, because 2019 was the first time I actually break through the top 10 and actually be able to compete with the best of the best. I did quite okay. But then 2020 was the year that I actually see, I was actually in the competition where the world record was broken. So, those kind of things, more experience for this coming Tokyo 2021, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So Dino, actually kompleto ni family ni EJ watching. Si Emily Obiena, his sister, commenting as well. So yan, let's go,
Oh,
me
God.
bro.
May swag pa, no? Me, bro.
Uh,
Let's go. Hi, Emily. Thanks for watching. Actually, natawa ako kasi parang nakita ko yung username niya sa Instagram. EJ din siya eh. Parang EJ Obiena din yung ano niya.
Yeah,
So,
she steals my username. That should have been mine. Sibling problems, man.
Mas
I
dumami
was the
ano
only
niyan.
EJ in my family. Yeah, that's my only
Ah.
EJ in the family. So she's the second one. So technically, it should be mine. You know.
So yan,
Yan.
yan. So obvious naman yung support ng family ni EJ all the way here in the Philippines. So yan, from Emiliano Amistoso, probably one of your teammates or opponents? Tama ba?
I think yeah, one of my coaches, my dad's athletes, if I'm right.
Okay.
Probably on
Parang
pole vaulter as
parang San
well. Yeah,
Sebastian Bravo
upcoming.
Baste. Yeah, Bravo Baste. So, yeah.
Ayan, the guy who
Oh,
made this all possible, si Carlo Manuel Dizon. Yan.
Yes.
So he trained with EJ 10 years ago at ang sabi niya, mas malupit sa akin kahit 10 years old pa lang siya. Legend in the making.
oh man.
Of course, under Coach Emmer, your dad, the living legend.
Anong masasabi mo doon,
Oh man,
EJ?
I used to annoy. I just remember a thought I was really annoying as a kid. I remember I took his shoe, if I remember, and I threw it in the field. I don't know exactly why I did that, but I just did that. You know, random 10-year-old mindful mindfulness something. I don't know. That was funny. Like he was always a hardworking kind of athlete as well. Kind of, it's cool to have known this kind of people and kind of miss training with those guys. You know, it's more of
Yeah.
those simple chill time that you train for fun.
Right.
Yeah. And then maybe it goes to show how far you've come, right? So like it's really nice to go back. I mean, look at the memories because
True.
goes to show how much, how distance, diba, you really set yourself apart talaga galing. Yeah, of course, from Raymark or Lina. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hi, Raymark. Thanks for tuning in.
Yan.
Oh, my auntie.
Another
Yeah,
one of his relatives, Miss
it's
Edna Obiena.
the Olympic is 7 months away. How excited everyone is here. Of course, we're really excited. We're praying that all goes well leading up to the Olympics. So, yeah.
Oh, coach.
Uh, I don't know how
It's a
to
good
pronounce it.
friend.
Di ko na alam.
We just call him Slava. So basically, he's
Mm.
a good coach from Poland. He trains a good friend of mine, Pavel, and very good friend of my coach as well, as you can see. So
Yeah.
he's a really good dude. He was there with me in the Asian Games because my coach wasn't able to come, and he was helping me out as well. So really cool guy. I meet him since I was maybe back in 2014. So I know him for quite some time now too.
Actually, may realization na ako dito eh. Parang ang dami nakamiss kay EJ, no? Kasi ang dami,
Oh.
hindi pa tayo pinapa-progress sa conversation. Dami na bumabate. Ito pa, Ken, I think we were talking about this person earlier on prior to going live, di ba? Ayan, no?
Yes.
Fellow, welcome to the club daw. Hi,
At the
EJ.
Hidilin.
Yeah. Actually,
Grabe.
away from the country din yan. Matagal-tagal na. Nasa
Oo
Malaysia
nga,
na.
parehas pala sila.
Oh.
Parehas pala sila ni Heidi, no? Yung malayo sa country natin.
Both stuck.
Both stuck
Yeah,
in
hopefully
separate
she's doing
stranded.
well.
Yeah. I think she's doing well as well. I mean, na-feature na ata siya sa Malaysian something eh. May ano na siya, may document. I mean, nagsulat din siya ng book, di ba? So, you guys are productive despite being far away from home. And
Well,
yeah. And of course, si Hudson Emerson. Good luck sa this coming Olympics. Stay safe, stay focused, God bless, and more power from Hudson Emerson.
thank you.
Grabe. Ayan. Ninoy Marayag.
Ninoy.
Hi, AJ. All the best Olympics. All out support kami. Grabe.
Thank you so
Ano
much.
tayo? Thank you guys for supporting AJ. Ito medyo,
Thank you
ano
very
lang,
much.
nakikiaway lang. You had your chance with the username before I opened my IG account, lols.
You see, I deal with a lot of things, but sometimes you just deal with your sister, and it's messed up.
Oy, ito rin, Ken, may nagparamdam din. I think, fellow SEA Games athlete, fellow national athlete, gold medalist as
Fellow
well.
gold medalist.
Oh,
Yo!
it's awesome, Jimmy. Oh, she's
Grabe.
doing quite well, and we talk a lot. And she cool. She cool.
Yeah. Grabe. Thanks, Jamie. I think, nag-stop muna siya training para mag-message because apparently her trainings are at the same time as
Yeah,
our episodes.
yeah, it's
So,
going on
Jamie,
right
thank
now.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. Ayun, no, fan ka pala ng fellow national athlete, di ba?
I'm a fan of
Yeah.
her too. So
Yeah. But maybe later on you can answer the question of Heidi para at least no. Kinakamusta ka niya. Eh. Maybe you can talk to her offline as well
yeah,
para you guys can
will
catch
do.
up.
I'll send her a message right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Hides and Jamie, mga previous guests natin yan, episode 4 and episode 10. Yeah. Galing. Naalala pa natin.
Ayan, so,
Wow.
yun, base naman sa comment ng kapatid ni EJ, hindi naman halatang sobrang competitive nila, no?
Oo nga eh. Mukhang sibling rivalry.
Rivalry. Ayun,
Meron pa
ayan,
eh.
another comment from Andrea Nicole Lorea. So, hi EJ.
Hi there.
Ayun, so, given EJ na your family's watching, let's go way back where it all started. So, as we all know, or as many people know, you're a family of athletes kasi your parents, yun, track and field athletes. Your dad is a pole vaulter. Your mom was into hurdles. And yung kapatid mo sa pole vault din, tama ba?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, ayun, like, I just wanna ask, like, was it a given na agad na you would choose track and field as your sport, or did you consider other sports when you were a kid?
Um, I think I was given a lot of opportunity to do other sports, but as a young kid, I wasn't really good as an athlete, or I wasn't really excelling at anything. And basically, I was just doing most of it for fun.
Yeah.
Back when I was maybe, let's say, 6, 7, elementary days, those kind of times, I just do everything for fun. Of course, I play basketball, I play badminton, I play a bunch of sport in school. Of course, I played track. Was part of the track and field team in Chiang Kai-shek College way back when I was elementary, maybe grade 5 or grade 6. So yeah, I wouldn't say it was a given. I was never really like kind of forced to do it. It's more of like I just had the resources to kind of do the sport, do track and field more often than the other sport because I was always in the track since I was maybe 4 years old. So it kind of opened my eyes and kind of I slowly loved the sport. I wouldn't say it's just pole vaulting right away because I was a hurdler, I was doing sprints, was doing long jump. There's so much event diversity in track that it's fun. And as a kid, I think I was able to kind of see these national athletes go do their thing. And as a kid, it's always amazing to kind of see this kind of prowess that these national athletes have. And basically, I see track all the time. So I think it wasn't a given, but it was more like I was kind of set to be
A track athlete.
somehow a track, because I basically lived there.
Right.
Yeah. So Dino, alam mo, natanong ko lang din kasi if you've watched the trailer and if you
Dumadakdak
follow
eh.
EJ on
Dumadakdak
Instagram,
eh.
dumadak. Oo, yun lang isasabi ko. Dumadak, tapos nagte-tennis. So, di
Tapos
ba, kumbaga, he could have chosen any sport talaga eh.
Tapos nagji-gymnast din siya. But I mean, based on our interaction, gymnastics is part of his training para to prepare him for the pole vault eh. Pero he's doing tennis as well, saka yung dumadunk, di ba? Sobra. Yeah, I think we can read some comments din from eto, may question si
Oh,
friend si Slav, diba? Slav ang
Slava,
medyo mahaba kasi medyo mahirapan ako eh. So,
I don't know.
siguro what result do you plan or maybe expectations for 2021?
I mean, I think me and my coach we already have a plan, but we kind of just want to keep it to ourselves. I mean, he's very close to my coach, so if he really wants to know, he can just ring my coach up, and my coach will probably tell him. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to say anything, but hopefully we're on to something big this coming year. Hopefully indoor is going to be good. So we'll see.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So EJ, like of course, you enjoyed pole vaulting when you tried it as a kid. But of course,
Yeah.
when you start to grow older, like you push for bigger goals. So for you, when you were young, what ignited the fire in you to really pursue pole vault
Yeah.
seriously and aim for higher goals?
Talking about higher goals, I think that's a lot of different kind of step because as a kid, the higher goals wouldn't necessarily be Olympics right away. So
Yeah.
first was just to have fun, and then I was competing in high school, and I wanted to kind of get into the district meet. So I need to win the how do you say? Oh, sorry, the regional. So I need to win the district competition. So it was that for me for a moment, maybe a year. And then when I was able to compete in the regional meet, of course, I want to be in the Palarong Pambansa. So, those kind of step by step kind of goal. The moment it kind of became a little bit more serious when I was graduating high school because I saw the opportunity for me to get a good education using sports. So during that time, it was all local. The goal
Mhm.
was to be the best high school athlete of my batch, so I could get the best scholarship offers from the biggest schools,
Right.
and get the best education out of this kind of journey that I'm trying to do. And then when I got into UAAP, I was able to get into a really good school. The goal now is to keep performing good, so your scholarship stays that way. Then at the same time, just kind of balancing university and that. I was selected to compete actually to the first international meet that I represented Philippines was maybe 2012 or 2013. It was like a Southeast Asian junior championship or something. Where I actually got injured, but that time I actually realized, I'm actually at par with these guys because basically the guy who won that jump 450, and my best during that time was like 440. So I wasn't far, and then I started to say, okay, I want to compete in the Southeast Asian region for my age group. And then I was sent to Sea Games, and I wanted to win Sea Games. And then after Sea Games, I wanted to win the Asian. And after the Asian Championship, I want to qualify for the Worlds. Then when I qualify for the Worlds, I want to be in the Olympics. It's more of like a step by step kind of thing. I think I
Right.
didn't really realize how serious it's actually getting until like maybe 2017 when I actually broke like the national record and won a couple of meets in Europe. That's when I
Yeah.
start to realize, oh, this thing is actually getting serious now, and I probably should focus on it a little bit more and like actually kind of take it as serious as uh, it's it's an amateur event, but it's like as professionally as I can, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually EJ, you mentioned step by step process. I think
Mhm.
pagdating sa records, like breaking records, parang ganun din eh, no? Like you've
Yeah.
broken a lot of records, the national records, the Asian Championship records. Like ano rin ba 'yon? Like is it your personal goal din as an athlete na 'yun like kasi pang ano eh, for me kasi it's amazing na yung increments ba like for example, you topple like 5 meters and then 5.25 something like that. Like for you ba like ano yun like talagang isang big motivation for you in terms of being a pole vault athlete?
Yeah, yes, definitely. There was a period in time, I would say that I was always aiming for the records,
Yeah.
mostly. It's like every time I entered the meet, I said like, I want to get that record. I want to get that
Yeah.
record. I want to get that record. So it's a good goal. It's a good mindset, but it doesn't really. it was working during the time basically. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I hope I can answer your question as directly as I can, but it's like basically the records kind of say like, you set those. They're meant to be broken, of course, but at a
Yeah.
certain amount, certain period of time, you were the best in that, or
Yeah.
you're the best to have ever in the history. And that's something that you take pride on, and
Yeah.
of course, it motivates you to actually get that, and it's a record. It's a
Yeah.
how do you say? It's a achievement under your name, and I don't know. It's amazing. It's a nice
Yeah.
thing to actually say.
Yeah.
I hold the national record of my country. I'm the best in the history of all Filipinos to have ever done pole
Yeah.
vaulting, and that's something that still makes me, a little bit excited. And it takes pride to say that sometimes, in let's say in competitions they announce that, and that's really, how do you say? I don't know. It makes me feel ecstatic or something. It's
Yeah.
like a drug.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
They,
Can
kasi, mm,
Ken, I think I'm just curious lang because I think before, 'di ba, you were doing sprints, you were doing hurdles. I think dito may nagtanong si Sports Corner PH, 'di ba? Parang yeah, he tried hurdles din, and as he mentioned he was into sprints din. But what made you decide to focus on pole vault and like let go of those other events? Like what was the parang decision making process in focusing in one and letting.
First thing is, pole vault is not so big, so there's not a lot of athletes actually doing it at that time. But technically, I have bigger chance to actually get into a better school, if that kind of makes sense. That's how
Oh,
it kind of thought process of it. And at the same time, as I told before, I wasn't really like naturally gifted athlete. I wasn't good, so I wasn't really a good hurdler. I was average. I was average here and there. I wasn't really fast, so I wasn't really gonna be a good sprinter. I
right.
wasn't. I wasn't bad in hurdles. I won a couple of medals, but I wasn't really like, the guy in the hurdles. And in pole vault, I have my dad, and he probably has the best knowledge of pole vaulting in the Philippines. And
Yeah.
of course, that takes a little bit of help for me to actually dominate the event and get the
yeah.
get the information that I need to actually be able to win local
Right.
competitions at that time. So that's how it actually went. I saw pole vaulting as my ticket to get into a really good school, and that's when I started to kind of part ways from. I'm still doing hurdling during the time, but I'm focused more on pole vaulting because I saw that, yeah, I can win this. I can actually go to Palarong Pambansa and make a name out of myself in the high school level and be able to get in to those get offers basically from the big universities that we have in Philippines. So that's how the
Yeah.
kind of the thought process of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if this was part of the consideration, just being able to be laser focused in one thing instead of like training for the different. I think it's also an advantage. I don't know if you agree with that. Like rather have three sports, you just have one that you're gonna be locking in and focusing on.
Yeah, but there's a balance into that, and it's difficult to just say, yeah, it's good to focus on one event because at the same time, like right now, I'm focusing on pole vaulting. That's my event. That's what I do. That's gonna be my ticket to Olympics. But I still do tennis. I still do basketball, and it actually, how do you say, help my pole vaulting in general. There's I think for young kids, it's always good to actually keep trying new sport, keep trying to do something different. Kind of challenge yourself. But as a pro athlete, you still need a little bit of diversity, so you don't actually kind of
Oh,
over specify yourself in a
interesting.
um, yeah. How do you say that? Because in
Cross
track, let's
training?
say
Yeah, parang cross
exactly,
training, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So you kind of want to keep that balance. But of course, your focus, your biggest goal is to be good at pole vaulting. So all the things that you do, all the other sports that you do, I kind of leads up to that.
Yeah.
At least
I get
in
it.
this kind of stage.
I get it. Parang, kumbaga, trying other sports allows you to challenge yourself and really
Yeah.
expand your maybe diversity as an athlete, yung diversity mo as an athlete. So yeah, it pretty much makes sense rather than just focus on one. Yeah. Galing.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of pro athletes do other sports, like Steph
Right.
Curry plays golf. Let's say
Yeah.
tennis players, they play other sport, they play basketball. Football
Yeah.
players, they play something else. It's something.
Right.
Of course, it's draining to the head to be doing, let's say,
Right.
pole vaulting 24/7,
Right.
365 days a week for, let's say, the 10 years of your active career. Oh, I think that's gonna exhaust the hell out of me. So,
Right.
you
Right.
do a little
Yeah.
bit here and there, and that helps you. In the bigger picture, it helps you.
Right, right. Yeah. I think that can be something enlightening for maybe athletes right now. I mean, watching us or gonna watch the replay is really to, maybe, what EJ is doing may apply to you. Na you can do cross training
Hopefully,
as well, right? Right, 'di ba? So, yeah, I think that's perfect. Eh, sabi nga
Yeah.
ni Ju, mahilig mag-dunk yan sa maliit na board and ring sa bahay nila. Hindi na niya kailangan tumalon. Haha.
yeah, those are the times when I was really small.
Yeah, and just
I
to like cement the what EJ was telling us earlier, Ken, yung it's
mm,
good to have those records, and that means you were at the top and at the best during your time. And just to add to that, it's records that make you immortal. So
mm.
yeah.
Saan
In
di
some shape
basta-basta
or form.
Yeah. Saan di basta-bastang records yan. Like, yung, I think that there's one record you broke na 20 years in the making, if I'm not mistaken. Like the national record. And then, ayun, the 5.81, your personal record, which was good to qualify for the Olympics. So yun, mga ano yan eh. Like, if I would, like, sila Lebron, di ba? You would see them in the interviews when they break, like, for example, they surpass, like, for example, sila Kobe Bryant. Parang,
Yeah,
ano talaga eh, parang for them, it's not only sort of achievement, but parang you sort of appreciate lang like, your place in history. So I guess probably in your case ganun din. Is that right?
exactly. But
Yeah.
records are meant to be broken, but when you have it, there's kind of sense of pride there. So I would expect other athletes to kind of feel the same.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
there's one thing I remember. Clay actually tweeted when Zach almost beat his like 3-point make in a game, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
dude, don't break my record. It's just been a year." Those kind of feeling. You
Right.
kind of have a sense of pride there. So I think each and everyone who holds some kind of record kind of feels the same.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So EJ, so now you're in the top 10 pole vaulters in the world, but before that happened, well actually it would not have happened if not for one fateful encounter back in the day, like probably 6 years ago. I don't know if you recall, you had the chance to
But
meet
yeah, of course.
one of the greatest pole vaulters, if not the greatest pole vault athlete in the world. So yeah, can you please describe how that meeting went and how it changed the course of your career?
That's that moment was so different from what I was expecting during that time.
Yeah.
So I had received a text. Basically, my mom received a text from the federation that, hey, Sergey is here,
Yeah.
Bubka, and we were
Yeah.
actually heading out to actually train, and we canceled the training that day to actually just meet him. Yeah, meet him and basically just get my jersey signed. As a kid, I just wanted that. That was the goal, just to get it signed, meet the guy, shake his hand, see him in person, and that would be just mind blowing. The guy broke the world record 35 times, so that's crazy,
Grabe.
and
That
he
means he
was the best.
elevated his game 35 times, di ba? From
Exactly.
35 to yeah.
He broke it
Grabe.
from 586, I believe, until like 615. So he basically put pole vaulting in a different level. And to meet the guy, it's just crazy. And during that time, I was just a really huge fan of him. So went there, get my jersey signed and everything. We're supposed to head out and maybe do the training. And then he said, yeah, why not have like a quick lunch with us and like talk and with the president of the federation as well. I wouldn't, of course, I would gladly, wholeheartedly accept that. And then we started to talk, and we talked for a couple of hours actually. I remember that, and we talk a lot about which pose I use, what kind of technique I follow, how am I doing, and what kind of training I'm doing. And of course, I asked him like stuff that he actually does and do. And then he suddenly opened up like, we actually have a program with the World Athletics now. Now it's named World Athletics. It used to be IAAF. That like for athletes like your age, if you jump 5 meters, you can be sent to a training center, a world training center of your specific event, and you can actually train there, which would be awesome. And basically, my best during that time was 495, and then I got 5 meters maybe a couple of months after that, and then basically he endorsed me, and the program sent me to meet my coach now. So that was a huge, let's say, pivoting point for my career. He opened a lot of doors, not just from that point until now. He's still helping me out, and he's still communicating. They say don't meet your childhood heroes because you're gonna be like disappointed.
Disappointed?
At the moment, I'm still like in awe with the guy. So I
Yeah.
don't know when that's gonna happen, but at the moment, still not. So yeah, that moment just changed my whole career. And if I didn't meet him, I'd probably be still into Philippines. Maybe I'm still doing pole vaulting, but I don't think I would be at this level right now without actually meeting Sergey.
No. That's interesting. Like
Yeah.
how did he help you? Like parang like in what way did he parang brought out the best in you, I guess?
So basically, he sent me in Formia. I didn't know who am I gonna train with. I just know that Formia is a world pole vault training center. It's basically like a hotspot
Mm.
for pole vaulters.
Right.
I didn't know who I'm gonna meet. And then he basically just sent me, okay, we have the ticket, we have the accommodation, we have everything. So I went here in Formia back in 2014. And then I was welcomed by the general manager of the training center. And then I was introduced to the coach. And then the coach happened to be his coach as well, which is Vitaly
Mm.
Petrov, the guy who
Yeah.
holds
Yeah.
like just yeah. So that's how he basically helped me. He gave me the opportunity to train with this kind of coach, and
Yeah.
it just so happened that I clicked with Vitaly, but I wouldn't have met Vitaly without Sergey, and I wouldn't have met Sergey without the president. Yeah, it's just a series of very lucky coincidences, and that I was actually be able to
Right.
meet the people that I should meet, and to meet the people I actually be working until now. That will actually help me reach my goals.
Right.
Yeah. So actually, ang swerte ni EJ, not only swerte, no? Kasi tayo, Dino, kung tayo, gusto lang natin ma-meet, for example, Michael Jordan, the late Kobe
Oh,
Bryant. Siya, na-meet niya yung idol niya, tapos
tama.
he got the opportunity to, you
Yeah.
know, train with the best of the best, kumbaga pagdating sa pole vaulting. And I think not only lucky, kasi I think Sergey immediately recognized his talent, his potential, and kumbaga one thing led to another, and yun.
Right.
Now, yun na nga, kumbaga kung di, sa kanya na rin ang galing. If that didn't happen, who knows, di ba? But now, yun na nga, we have a world-class athlete in our hands. So yun,
Yeah.
lucky us, di ba?
Tama. I think it's just to add lang, Ken, I think it's really the exposure you get when you go outside the Philippines. I think it really opens
Yeah.
up a lot of things for you. Kasi parang, I don't know if there's a particular quote for it. If you stay, parang pag sa maliit ka lang na pond, nandun ka lang forever. It's like, it's difficult to really grow. But if you're in a bigger pond, it really allows you to see what's out there and really expand your consciousness or your mindset now. Hey, I may be at the best here in the Philippines, but there's so many athletes that's better than me out there. I don't know. Is that,
Exactly. I don't know. That's true. That's for a fact. It's like if I didn't meet my training partner Tiago, I wouldn't believe that I'm actually capable of jumping more than
yeah,
5 meters. And I
right.
remember coming here, Vitaly, basically the first training session, he's like, "Yeah, before you leave here, you'll be jumping 520." I was like, that was my life goal. That would
Right,
have
right.
been what I wanted to jump when I'm at the peak of my career. And he just
Yeah,
said that I'm gonna be jumping that in 3 months. So I'm like, I didn't believe him basically.
right.
So I was open. I was basically new knowledge that definitely helped, but having these world class athletes around you
Yeah,
and having
yeah,
them as your, how do you say, like you see how human they are as well. Like
yeah.
makes me actually understand and believe to myself that I actually be one of them as well.
Right. Yeah. What I got from this, if you want to be world class, you surround yourself with world class individuals, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, nagigets ko na parang that's the whole point. If you want to be the best, you surround yourself with the best as well. So, that's really, the secret. It's because they're gonna bring out the best in you. Eh. Parang they wouldn't allow you to sell yourself short and would only challenge you to play big, I guess, because that's what I surround myself with. So friends that are gonna push me and refuse me to play small. So I guess that's what Sergey and Vitali, your coach, and Tiago, they are the world class people that's around you, behind you, supporting you. Galing, sobrang ano. I think that's one thing that people can. I mean, if there's one thing you guys want to pick up from this episode, it's that it's really surround. If you want to be the best, surround yourself with the best. That's the whole point of it. So I think
Totally
kilala mo
agree.
rin to. Kilala mo to EJ.
Yes, yes, for sure. He is the sports coordinator
Sa
in
Shanghai,
my
yeah.
high school alma mater. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, si
Chanyoli.
Achioli. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yan. Ito, June Reyes. Hindi ko alam kung sino. So, guwapo. Pride of Pinoy. Yan.
Thank you.
Ayan,
Maybe
from
six,
Vanch, Clarin.
yeah, maybe 6 years ago, nakita na nila na on your road is lead to Olympics. Pero ano kaya isasagot ng isang EJ Obiena if sinabi sa'yo na soon you'll be competing for the Olympics? Curious lang.
If someone says, actually, just tell me this, like back in 2017 when I tore my ACL, and someone says that, oh, in 2 years' time you're going to be qualifying for Olympics, I'll be saying, hey, get out of here. You're telling a lot of BS, and you
Right.
have no idea how it's going on. That's probably what I'm going to be saying. Maybe a little bit more courteous to the people, but I would be like, nah, that's impossible. That's impossible, and it is impossible during the time for my eyes, and I didn't really think what happened this year, last year, and would be happening.
Yep.
Yeah. So Dino, just to add on to what you said, kasi yung sabi mo surrounding yourself with the best. Baga natutunan ko kay Yani yan eh, if Yanni's watching, yung Fury of Space, di ba?
Right, right.
Like, if you wanna be better, you have to surround yourself with yung ngayon, mga better people. And in EJ's, yun, if, for those watching, yung mga nagtataka, sino si Thiago, he's the reigning, if, correct me if I'm wrong, EJ, he's the reigning Olympic gold medalist in pole vault. Is that right?
Yeah, and record holder, Olympic record holder. So in
Yeah.
all the
Grabe, no?
people who have done Olympics,
Grabe.
he is the best pole vaulter ever. So,
Grabe. I mean, you're training with that kind of like level, parang there's no way you're not gonna go up eh, diba? You're not gonna up your
you need
level.
to compete.
Right. Galing,
Yeah.
sobra,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yun, EJ, both you guys are training under your current coach, Vitaly Petrov. So
Yeah.
you've been training with him for so long, like 4 years, at least 4 to 6 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask, like, how has he helped you become the world class that you are today, world class athlete that you are today, and also as a person?
If you meet Tiago, I think you'll understand what kind of person he is. He's the type of guy that would actually just help a lot of people. He's a very religious kind of person, and you have helped me a lot. There's sometimes like there used to be a time that some of my decisions are actually like, what would Tiago do? This kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Wow.
I'm yeah, and I respect the guy so much that I trust him with a lot of things, and we do compete with each other, but it's never like when I compete with him in a competition, I never really see him like, oh, I want to take this man down. It's not that, we're just
Right,
like, oh, I
right.
want to jump high, want to jump high, and he want to jump high, and we're actually like checking each other's mark and helping each other out. It's a weird dynamic, but Tiago helped me a lot back since 2015. He showed me what I can do. First of all, I'm very lucky to be able to train with him. As an athlete, you said like you want to surround yourself with the people that actually will push you and be competitive. So a guy who's jumping 580 wouldn't want to train with a guy who's jumping 510, 520. And I was very welcomed in the group, and I was a young kid, and he was a little bit older than me, and he showed me what it took for him to win the no, the Rio Olympic Games, because I knew him way back, and he got injured back in 2014, and then I saw him come back in 15, and then just dominated 16. Basically, that was one of the biggest things that I decided after I got injured to actually just focus on a pole vaulting. Like that was the thought process of like what would Tiago do as well. So he really affected some of my life decisions. And back in 2017, I actually stayed in his house for five months here in Formia. So literally, I wouldn't be where I am without him, and I'm very thankful that I have him as a friend and as a probably one of the people that when I grow up to, I would still want to be in contact with. And it's just amazing guy, and
Right,
just really mad respect, and
right.
I know we're basically having the same goal. I told you it's a weird dynamic that we have,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
we have so much respect at each other. I used to always joke around like, because Thiago has already achieved so much, and I always see him as a bear. And like when we train, I always say like, I'm gonna poke the bear today, so I'm gonna get him on fire, and like I'm gonna push him to whatever he needs to be done as well. But by doing that, I push myself as well. So I don't know how I can say it, but definitely he is one of the very important person that made me to where I am now, and how I actually treat others, and how I actually treat myself, and how I look
Right,
at the world. He affected that way so much.
right. Yeah, and it's interesting, Ken, no, if you look at it, they're basically on the same division, competing against each other.
Yeah.
They come from different countries, but they're actually supporting one another. Kaya na, I mean, ang narealize ko, kaya naman pala magtulungan. I mean, di ba parang, why can't have, parang if I see like that, parang why can't the world have that more? Parang that kind of dynamic with everyone. Na instead of treating each other as competition, gonna kill each other come competition time, but it's really pulling each other up. Parang that's what I appreciate about that story between EJ and Tiago. Yun yung na-realize ko. Parang bakit, why not have more of that in this world? Or why not have more of that in this country of ours?
I wish for that.
Yeah.
That kind
Galing.
of culture is,
Yeah.
is hard to achieve, but I mean, clearly it is doable.
Right. Yeah, it's an, this dynamic is an evidence that it can work, right? Rather
Yeah.
than
Yep.
competing each other, yeah. Galing.
Yeah. And I think isa sa mga malalaking dahilan dyan is your coach, si Vitaly
Yeah.
Petrov. So, yun, like, uh, describe your relationship. Kasi, yun nga, you've been away for the country for so long. Yun, especially ngayon, 1 year. So how has he helped you personally grow into the man that you are today?
That's a hard question to answer because there's so much things that he have done. First of all, I think, you cannot look up to someone without having respect. And,
Yeah.
having respect for me is, it's not something that you just kind of achieve easily. I always, when I start to kind of not understand things, that's what I mean by that is like, I don't understand why he's still coaching and why is he still going the track with me every single day of the week, maybe two times a day, on time, motivated. That kind of gives me some kind of respect to the guy. But at the same time, he's shown me, um, as a coach, he is outstanding. He is crazy. He has this way of seeing the details of everything. But as a mentor, he understands how athletes are human first before everything else. And I think that what makes him a really good coach and a really good mentor for me is like the balance of having to know when to push the athletes and knowing when to actually let him grow. And sometimes you gotta let him trip by himself. Like there are competitions that it's not the big ones, but he would actually let me do what I want to do to actually see that, this is not the way, or sometimes it just boosts my confidence. That's how good. I don't know. It's so difficult. This question is really difficult to answer because right now he's just so good. It's
Yeah.
hard. He's human. He has his flaws, but he is
Yeah.
really just an amazing human being. That's first thing. A lot of people misunderstood his ways because he's very strict in the way
Yeah.
he coach, and a lot of athletes doesn't work with him as well. But if you know him, he's a really good guy, and I think that's why Sergey, Thiago, these big names are actually still in contact. And Sergey is done with his career, but they still have constant communication. I do think most of the athletes that have went under my coach looks at him like a second father figure of some sort. I don't know. The guy is 75 years old. He have been
Yeah.
through a lot of things, and he teach everything with passion. And I don't really understand what motivates him to coach me. It's a big question in my head. And but even if I have that, I still kind of, have respect, and I do believe that he wants. We have the same goal right now. We want to do good in Olympics, and we're working on that. And I don't know. I don't have a simple answer on that. It's like it would take me a lot of time to just get into what Vitaly has imparted in my in my career. If
Pinahirapan mo,
not
Ken
a
eh.
lot of
Nako,
that's
May
why I
training,
don't have it.
sorry,
everyday
sorry.
everyday nagta-training, pinahirapan mo daw sa question.
Sorry, sorry.
Oh, but
Hindi,
it's a
baka
really
naman
hard
ano,
topic to
baka
speak about as well.
he sees,
Sorry.
baka he sees na ano, baka he sees the si EJ will be ng Philippines, baka yun.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, but I don't understand it because he has the world record. He has the Olympic record. Come on, he has world champions. What
Yeah,
more could a coach want? He have won everything. Why is he still here at age
yeah.
75 right now, pushing
Wow.
every day, waking up early in the
Grabe.
morning, being with me in the training? It doesn't make. I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't make sense, but there's something that motivates him inside, or there's some kind of grit, I would say, that he still has, and that's something I really, really just can't explain, and that's something I crazy, crazy look up to.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yan.
Yeah.
May mga comments tayo.
So, yeah.
Yeah, go. Go, Ken. Go, Ken. Na-delay ka lang siguro. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, EJ, so you've been comfortable for the past years there since you've been away for the country for so long. But for sure you've had your struggles when you started out training abroad. So can you share with us like what were some of the early obstacles you faced when you initially trained there in Italy?
Early obstacles would be mostly financial during that time. It's not cheap to train here, and it's not really. It's not like I'm going to Hong Kong like an hour, you know. And when I go
Yeah,
here, the
yeah.
first 2 years I was with my dad, which helped me a lot because I still have people to talk to. You know, I have some guidance. I'm
Right.
not alone, but when I started going here alone, that's something that is a bit tough. That's when I started to get close to my coach as well and to get close with Tiago. But you know what's really hard for me is just the culture. It's different. It's totally different, and it's not the people that I work here that has. This is a sad part of being in a. Okay, I want to keep things light, but of course racism exists, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't. It happens in and out of the track, and you know sometimes it happens, and that's one of the hard thing because sometimes it's I don't know how to kind of God. Can you give me really difficult questions? It's cool. It's cool. It's like it's hard because you know sometimes I'm half Chinese. That's not
Yeah.
something I try to hide.
Mhm.
So when people say that, oh, Chinese, I don't really, I'm good with that. But then sometimes the Filipino as well. I remember there was a meet that I did. I won the competition, and then someone asked for a photo of me, and then he tagged me or she tagged me somewhere, and then basically she said like, "This guy just cleaned my apartment in the morning, and then we won the game in the afternoon." That kind of hit me a little bit, you know. That's an
Wow.
honest kind of job. Let's say Filipinos do that too. I mean, but that's an honest kind of job. But at the same time, that kind of hurt how they kind of see us, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, those kind of things. It's a small thing. I would say. I would say like it's difficult to kind of what makes it difficult. It's not because like it's happening. It's like it's hard to kind of do something about it, you know, without actually being aggressive, being how do you kind of fight that kind of thing, you know?
Right.
it's
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's not something that you know you go through every day, but being an international athlete, training here has a lot of perks. Of course there's a lot of sacrifices I do, of course, not having my family, being alone, living by myself, being far from friends, just not having that kind of connection. I think that's kind of the one of the toughest part of it. So I don't know. At the moment, I try to keep not. I kind of not look at it most of the negative kind of things, and usually when I go through it, like of course I have problems, but right now I need to be focused on Olympics. So I kind of me and my psychologist work on this kind of thing. So I literally not forget about it, but like I kind of put like a a cover on those kind of BS and unnecessary
Right.
things for me right now to kind of think about.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Nice.
kasi
Sorry, that
parang
went.
yeah,
Right.
kasi parang sa akin lang like people probably forget or don't notice kasi you went there, you were like 19 or 20. So
18.
18 actually. So yun na nga, if
Yeah.
a guy your age could be easily overwhelmed by being away miles away from home, the different culture. Kasi iba eh, parang may language barrier, may culture barrier. So, yun lang. Parang I was just curious how you handle them. And from the looks of it, parang acclimated ka na throughout the years. Di ba?
Pero may growing pains, Ken. I mean, ang sakit nun, di ba? When getting
May
tagged and
growing
the, and
pains.
the, and
Yun
the
nga eh. Yun na nga
caption
eh.
is like,
Kaya nga eh.
Like that, I think, syempre, if I were in his spot, parang ang sakit, like, baka mapaiyak pa ako.
Yeah. But it's as you said, it's part of the how do you say? It's from what I see, it's part of the trade-off that you kind of do. You know, that's why I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm trying to achieve something special, so that takes
Right.
something special as well.
Right. And I'm sure it's not only EJ kasi apparently, 'di ba, EJ is not the only Filipino athlete that's gone abroad to train. Like I think right now sa basketball si Kai Soto,
Yeah.
and now si 30 went to Japan playing for
Mhm.
the B League sa Japan. So I'm pretty sure they have those kinds of experiences as well. Maybe not that particular, but maybe a different challenge for them, 'di ba? So galing.
Yeah.
And that
So,
went
yeah,
Ayan.
heavy,
EJ,
huh?
so yun, let's talk about
Parang delay, hindi kami nag-aano ni.
yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sige, Dino, go ahead, Dino.
Yeah, ako lang, I just wanna go through some comments lang din. Yeah, I think this was answered na, Gene. He's tried hurdling and have you tried a different, hurdling and sprints sa track
Yeah.
and field
Yes.
din as well. Tapos dumadunk din siya. Yun. And
Kita nyo naman sa trailer.
eto, parang quick lang, don't change EJ and be humble always. Be grateful to all the people who help you to be on the top. Lastly, may GF ka na ba? What do you choose? Career or love? Apparently, I think career ang pinipili niya
Or love.
over love. Di ba? Di ba? I don't know if you wanna add to that, EJ. Para on a lighter note, kasi kanina, sobrang seryoso natin eh. So, ayan.
Why not
Buti
both?
na lang meron tayong June Reyes that is tuning in, di ba? Career or love daw. But I think if I were to answer, mukhang based on career eh, di ba?
At the moment, it is career. That's why I'm here. You know, I've done a lot of things, so that the other thing can actually follow. So I'm here until Tokyo. I'm focused on that. You know, that's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that I think I've already
Yeah.
thrown a lot of my time at. So let's see it through.
Saka 25 pa lang naman si EJ. So, binulaga mo ata siya dito sa
Oo nga.
You surprised him with this question. Yeah.
I told you this is what I look forward to. This kind of thing. You know, like I get
Yeah.
asked questions that I don't.
This is an interesting comment from Vanch as well. By the way, thank you and to Hackett also sa pagturo kung saan matatagpuan ang storage area sa Athletic Stadium last year. Dahil
Yeah.
dun nakita ko ang polls ng Team Vietnam. I don't know what
Yeah,
he's
so-
talking about.
Oh, so it's actually a funny story. So I was doing my last training session. Then I see these two volunteers running around. They're like, "Oh, did you see a tube? Did you see a tube?" I was like, "What kind of sport would have a tube? It's probably pole vault." I was just like, I asked her. I was like, "Are you looking for poles?" Yes po, yung mahabang stick yung ginagamit po pantalon ng mga Vietnam. And I was like, yeah, I think I know where it is. I said, I know where's the storage room. They probably put it there, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the pain, you know. I know how hard it is for an athlete to be in the competition, not knowing where his posts are. And of course, they're going to be stressing the volunteers or the liaison officers. And of course, those liaison will be like, how do I describe that kind of thing? You know, how do I know where it is? And luckily, I saw her, and then I was like, yeah, come ride with me. We'll go to the track. Let's go to the storage area. Exactly. I'm going to put back my post. So luckily, the posts of the Vietnam people or the Vietnam team were actually there. And I think that kind of sorted out. So, okay, now I remember that.
Oh, so she's a volunteer back in 2019 around this
SEA
time,
Games,
di ba?
yeah.
SEA Games. It was
Yeah,
around this time.
exactly. Yeah.
Right? Galing parang anniversary. Pinaalala niya sa'yo. Galing. Yeah. And ito, last comment before we continue on, Ken. Ayun. Ladies, you still have a chance. Ayan.
Ayun.
Shit,
So EJ, sorry.
wait, I want to make this clear. I'm dating someone, so.
Okay.
I don't want to
Okay.
I don't want to
Okay,
get
okay.
killed later. And
So,
what were you saying? I'm dating someone.
This comment is no longer applicable to EJ.
Mm.
Okay. Yan. Just to make
So
it
I
clear
just
so
want to make
that
that clear.
baka
She
ano
might be,
baka maban kami no ng
yeah,
magreklamo
she
yung
might be
someone you're
watching. So
yeah. Okay, sorry.
Ayan.
Yeah.
Ayan, so EJ, sorry natapat na naman sa akin yung anong question eh. So
no
actually,
worries.
yeah, kasi one of, well, you mentioned this during your pre-interview, but one of your most proudest moments was bouncing back from your ACL tear back in 2017. So can you
Yeah.
please take us through the process of going through the rehab, the mental
Yeah.
struggle, uh, and trying to regain your form, your confidence?
Like what allowed you parang just to add lang din what allowed you to really bounce
Mm,
back from that? Kasi I
yeah.
mean sobrang like if it's an ankle sprain it's like super ano eh parang if it's a ACL like it's difficult like you mentioned earlier parang you never come on man you're saying BS kasi when they told you na
Yeah.
mag-Olympics ka, di ba? Parang take us through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, I think I learned a lot. Who are actually with me, like not just when I'm on the high, and I learned a lot how to kind of understand people during that time, and of course, like I wouldn't be able to go through that and be able to recover without the people that I work with and the people that actually trust in me, and of course, the people on the sidelines who actually just sometimes give a few words, that kind of push me a little bit to, hey, there's something that I still need to do. And in general, now I can say that injury actually made me a better person, a better athlete. I came out of that as a way more mature person and a way more mature athlete as well. Um, it's a quite a very general question, but if I take you back when I got injured, the first question I asked, why did I even take that jump? Why did I even take that last jump? Because I was already done. The training was already finished. I was just supposed to take 6 jumps, and then I said one more because I didn't get it right on the sixth one. I said that no, I need one more, and then I
Yeah.
took that one more, and then I had that bad fall, and I torn my ACL, and that's done. I was so much of a dominant force in the SEA Games during the time that I just needed to jump my opening height and I would have won it because I was opening at 5:30, 35, and I remember the meet was won at like 5:30. So, it's painful during the time. I was really regretting taking that jump. Then I was really, how do you say? I was questioning the entirely my kind of way, um, my way to approach things. And then I was challenged so much to like actually believe that it wasn't my mistake to take that extra jump because it didn't help that the media was bothering me a lot. Like they were saying, EJ, why did you train? It was raining. You should have just went to KL. You shouldn't have trained.
Right.
Who would have known? Who would have known if I took that jump or not? I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know. But the second thing, why I'm such a I think why I'm a good athlete is because that's what I do. If I don't get it right, I keep going at it. And if I feel like I can still do it and that jump didn't mean that, maybe it did happen for a reason, but it made me believe in myself more that, hey, I took that jump because I know I needed that. And I'm the type of athlete that goes into training and actually works on it, like I'm gonna work on it until I get it right. And that's something that kind of became more solid in me being an athlete. And I learned that, I keep at it and it helped me. It helped me grow as an athlete. It made me realize what I actually want to do. And then it goes through that rehab phase where, my physio actually quit on me 2 weeks going in. The physio I'm working with, his name is Marvin Pangilinan. He works with the UST. He quit on me because I was a pain in the ass as an athlete. I told you that I told you that I'm the athlete that I'm gonna keep doing at it until I get it right. But during that time of the rehab stage, I was doing a bunch of things that I shouldn't be doing at that stage. And then as my physio, he should be the one. He's gonna take responsibility on that. So 3 weeks in, I was doing some jumps that I shouldn't be doing, and I was like, you know, yeah, the athlete in me was so excited. I actually being able to do something, and then the physio in him was so afraid that I'm gonna get messed up. I messed it up. I
Yeah.
land wrong something. I re-tear my ACL. That's gonna be a year I'm out, and that's gonna be on him. And he helped me understand that it takes time, and I need to trust people along the process. Like, this is something that I'm gonna be going through the first time of my career, so I don't really know how to kind of deal with it. He has done it a lot with the other athletes, and I learned here to actually work hard, really just work hard. Like, I never worked that hard in my entire life. There are just times that I just, like, it was so painful that you're literally just gonna cry. Like, there's that times that I'm just so sore, I don't want to do anything. And that was the physical side of things, and the emotional side of things. There are times I look at myself coming from an athlete who technically was a world class at that time as well, for not being able to walk, to not being able to do this kind of things. It was mentally scary. It scared the shit out of me as an athlete, because I had my family knows this, my physio knows this. There are like times I'm doing rehab and suddenly I just break down. Like, I just start crying. Like, literally tears just falls in my eyes, because
Yeah.
I'm like, I came from that and now I'm this. Like, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to actually go back
Get
to
back, yeah.
what I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, that that scares the shit out of you. Like, that scares the basically it was the moment that you are all the things that you've worked for are gone, and you don't know if you'll be able to get it back.
Yeah.
And basically, I was an athlete and I've been pushing myself so much, and that it meant a lot to me. And then it was taken in a snap of a finger. It's done. It's gone.
Right.
And yeah, and it it broken me. I was broken for a moment, and I was really like, I was just there was times that I just wanted to be able to walk and be able to do the regular things, and there were
Yeah.
times that I was also decided that I was like, no, I'm good. I'm done. Whatever happens, I'm good with it. But then, um, of course, my coach wouldn't be the story wouldn't be complete with this if I don't tell the story about my conversation with my coach. The moment I knew the MRI was a torn ACL, and I knew I was
Yeah.
gonna be out for 6 months. I had a call with my coach. I ringed him up. It was maybe 11 p.m. Manila time, and then I called him. I was like, "Yeah, I torn ACL and MCL. Basically, I'm out. I'm out of the competition." I remember the first maybe minute of that conversation was tough. He was angry. He was pissed. He was like, "What happened? You've been training so hard. You've been doing that, this, and that." For a minute, he was like outrage, pure
Yeah.
outrage, and then like there was a switch in him that just suddenly calmed down. He was like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's already happened. We can't do anything about it anymore." And he was suddenly he wasn't a coach anymore during the time. He was more of a dad to me. And
Yeah.
then he told me a couple of words. It just said like he said like, "I'll be here waiting for you."
Wow.
It was that words that gave me the strength to actually go through the surgery, be actually so meticulous in the way I train and the way I kind of do my rehab. That helped me, how do you say, put myself still in some kind of platform that I'm not done yet. Because this
Right.
coach of this caliber actually wants me back, even though I'm actually injured, even though I can't walk. He was there. He was like, "Yeah, I'm ready. I'll wait for you. I'll be here when you actually are done." And you know, that actually just helped me so much to be so diligent and so hardworking to actually get back to where I was. And I told you that I able to learn the people who are actually with me, and I knew a lot of people who I thought was with me that just disappeared, and the people that I actually didn't expect to be with me every single day uh, made a really like life-changing friends per se. And that's when I knew that you know, these people are actually the people I want to be with and the people I trust with my life. And I learned how to kind of know the people I want to have as my support group. And I think that's what the ACL journey really gave me. And, you know, it put me in a different kind of mindset way back. If I'm looking back, the athlete that was 2017 me, oh, he was physically gifted, he was good, he was hardworking, but he wasn't mature enough to actually be able to do what I do now. And yeah, that's the journey coming back from the ACL. It was not more just physical. It was more like mental and just growing as a person, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Ganda.
ako, yeah.
Yeah,
And you
actually
know,
I appreciate it eh. Parang medyo napaluha rin ako kasi parang yung ano, yung kahit during the tough times kasi parang when someone says that na I'll be waiting for you, parang it gives you confidence eh na
Mhm.
you know, parang hindi ka pwedeng hindi maniwala sa'yo kasi there's someone out there na is waiting for you to get back to your original form. So ang galing. And it just reminds me that during your tough times or maybe your darkest moments, that's where you find out who's gonna be there for you. I mean,
Yeah,
you find out who the real ones are eh. I mean, it's really a
exactly.
reminder for
Mhm.
everyone na you know during the good times you I mean everyone's gonna be friends with you, but during the tough times you never know who's gonna show up. And sometimes I agree din with EJ. It's gonna there are gonna be people that's gonna surprise you during your dark times, diba? So galing, galing,
Yeah.
galing, galing.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Ito, on a
So
lighter note, nag-comment na lang si
yeah.
June Reyes. Nice answer, EJ. Hopes, ano naman, dito yung sa love life and career. Hope it's true, maya dyan,
ayan.
kapag andyan na yung love of your life, iwanan mo na ang career mo. Huwag mababaliw
Uh,
sa pag-ibig.
Thank
Focus
you
daw
for
on your
that.
career.
Yeah.
And I think, ito, nababanggit mo to kanina, di ba, Ken? Si
Si
Alfonso Lodini.
Fons.
Yeah, si
Yeah.
Fons.
Lodi EJ. Yan.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember
Yeah.
this guy. He has this huge retro game pads, and I was just smashing the shit out of those. Yeah,
Yeah. Search siya sa ano naman siya, sa walking event, if I'm not mistaken, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Walking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and I
So
think
yun, actually,
EJ, it's ano eh, sobrang, 'di ba kasi 2017 was supposed to be you're gonna compete sa SEA Games. And
yeah,
then come 2019, parang it must have felt like sobrang like I'm back. Parang ganun yung feeling for sure, 'di ba? Yung when you won the gold medal kasi parang this is what I was supposed to have gotten, 'di ba? 2017, and it took you 2 years. Parang
yeah.
Olympics, 'di ba? It's gonna take you a 1 year later para to compete in the Olympics, 'di ba?
True. Yeah. I mean, 2019 was the year that actually was, you know, I was the decision I made was kind of paid off. That was
Yeah,
the year that it showed me that I made the right decision. Right
yeah,
decision. So per se. And
yeah.
yeah, the first meet that actually was the Asian Championship. I wasn't supposed to win that. I went there. I was supposed to be like fifth or sixth. I remember the team didn't even have the flag. They didn't have the flag. They didn't have the flag for me. And that's just
oh,
how it says, like nobody
Yeah.
knew. Maybe
Oh,
people knew me.
mhm.
oh.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
everything.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, go ahead, go
the
ahead, go ahead, go
people.
ahead.
Yeah, sorry, sorry. The people knew me.
Yeah.
Maybe because of my coach, and my coach was
Mhm.
there with me, but
Yeah.
they didn't expect I was gonna win that.
Right.
Nobody expected it. There was the two Chinese guys who was very strong, two Japanese guys that are so dominant, then the Thai guy who just won the bronze in the 2018 Asian Games, and then you have this Saudi Arabian guy who just jumped 570. You know, I wasn't supposed to win that. I wasn't even supposed to be in the podium. And then it was funny because at 555, there was like 8 guys, and I was on my last attempt, and I made it. And then on the next height, what was 561, I made it on my last attempt as well. And then 566, I faltered, and I had some issues with the judges. Then I was like, okay, I lost one attempt there, and
Right.
suddenly out of the blue, I made 571 on my first attempt, new championship record, and I think that kind of just set the tone. I remember when I cleared that, I was so hyped. Like I was so um, out of this world. It's like this
You
is a
shouted
PR.
for
It's a
sure.
world.
You shouted
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
shouted. I was pumping my chest. I was just like, look at my coach. And I was after that. I didn't even go back to my coach. I put a towel on my head. I looked the other way around the track, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna let them jump, whatever. And then I wouldn't focus and I wouldn't even look on who clears the bar. You know, I know that what I cleared was something significant, and I was just there looking on the other way of the track. I didn't see the pit. I was just so, how do you say, like kind of, I didn't want to see anything, you know. I'm just like trying to digest it. And I was like, the competition's not done. The competition's not done. Then I went to my coach. I was like, yeah. And then it was me and the Chinese guy. I remember one Chinese guy, Bokai. Yeah. And then he actually passed. He said like, okay, I'm not going to jump 71. I'm going to jump 76. And then I had 3 more attempts. He had 1 attempt. I had the first attempt. I don't know what happened, but I think my adrenaline was so high that I just started crashing down actually. I was already out of the game. You know, I had so many jumps. And then um, I basically just planted the pole. I didn't even complete the jump. And then the next attempt, it was going to be that's going to decide if I'm going to win or
Yeah.
just going to be second or I'm going to be second. Yeah, that's the worst place I'm going to be at. And then he ran through. And then I was just like, damn, is this really happening? I was like, did I actually just win the Asian Championship?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is this for real?
Yeah.
And then my coach started to shake everyone's hand. I'm like, yeah, this is happening. But then my coach said to me, yeah, you still have 2 more attempts. Why not jump? And I'm like,
Mm.
dude, I'm out of it. I'm really just out of it. But my coach, I told you, his mind works in a different kind of way. Then I tried to jump in the second attempt, but emotionally, I was already done. I was
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I was just waiting. Yeah,
Sobrang
Um,
surreal nung experience eh. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
everything flashes back. What you went through.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was done. And then I didn't take the last attempt. I was like, yeah, I'm done. If I try to jump this, I'm gonna be sent back in the ground. I'm completely exhausted. You know, like all that hard work suddenly like, just felt really heavy, and we're like, okay, I'm done. You know, this is something I'm good. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then it hit me harder when when I was in the podium because I was just looking at the flag being raised, and I was just like saying, "You're on live TV. Don't cry, don't cry. Just keep that in. Just hold it in. Just look at the flag and like, just don't cry. Just don't cry." The moment I step out to the podium, I started crying. Yeah, and
Right.
that was the breakthrough moment because I
Yeah.
qualified for
Yeah.
the Worlds, and then yeah, it was crazy.
Everything was history, di ba? Leading
Yeah.
up to Olympics na yeah.
Yeah, that was
Grabe.
Yeah.
nice.
So very fitting talaga yung title Dino, breakthrough. That
Yeah,
breakthrough moment for EJ. And
Yun
now,
yun
yun na nga eh.
Olympics na.
Oo.
One of the, again, just to remind everyone, I mean, we're in the presence or we're sharing a space with someone that, only a few Filipinos have been on, which is being part of the Tokyo Olympics. Only a handful, di ba? So, you're listening to someone that has achieved what only few people do. So, I think he's really earned, a lot of respect from, not just from fellow Filipinos, but also people from around the world. So, eto, on a lighter note, 1 oras na din pala ako nanonood, muntik na ako maiyak ng popcorn. Ayan. Tapos si Jack, ay pa-shout out Kuya
Oh,
EJ.
He was a pole vaulter before, from
Mm.
Perpetual Health. Yeah, I remember
Oh
you,
yeah.
of course.
Mm.
I remember all my
Yeah.
Nice.
teammates.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, and a familiar face, I would say.
Yeah, his
Baileys.
former teammate.
Sa
Yes, from
UST ata.
UST.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And shout out daw sa
Mm.
father.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
I
dad.
think he's also a courtside reporter sa UAP,
Sa
di ba?
UAP.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, EJ, you've mentioned like how you wanted to promote your sport, particularly here in the Philippines and in Asia, and you wanted to be the voice of pole vault. So, ito may related question kasi dito from Carlo Dizon.
Yeah.
So, EJ, do you think pole vault is a sport we can own as Filipinos, much like boxing? If not, what do you think will we need to create elite athletes like yourself? And just to add on to that question, EJ, kasi yun, like considering all the things you've learned from your training abroad for so many years, yun, what do you think needs to be done so that yung pole vault mas ma-appreciate dito sa country?
First of all, to answer Carlo, I do think that Filipinos can be good at it because I'm not really anything extraordinary. So I wouldn't say that I was gifted when I was a kid. Carlo can attest to that. I was small, lanky. I wasn't the athlete that I should be. So yeah, I think pole vaulting is a really extreme sport. I think, come on, who? It's like an event from. It should actually not be an Olympics. Should be an X Games or something. You know, you see this extreme kind of thing,
Right, right.
and I think it just needs exposure. It just needs, because track and field is so close in the stadium. I think that's one of the things that why it's so hard to actually promote it,
Yeah.
because the
Right.
person needs to actually be there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now here in Europe, they're bringing pole vaulting outside the stadium. So we have this platform, then we have the pit, and then actually thousands of people actually watch it. I think that's one of the things that I'm hoping I could bring in the Philippines and promote the sport actually. Of course, and with the help of the National Association, hopefully they'll give focus on the events that we actually are good at. And I would say that pole vaulting right now is so good in Philippines. We won both gold in the Southeast Asian Games, both with new
Right.
championship records as well. So that's something that I think was never been done in the history, both men and women. We've won the Southeast Asian Youth Championship, both men and women, in pole vaulting as well, just recently, back in 2019. So, this is something that we actually are good at. And I do think that pole vaulting is an event that, it doesn't really, it takes a lot of how do you say this, effort to actually perfect the technique or find your technique
Mhm.
in some shape or form. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to be fast, you need to be this, it's just hard work, a lot of hard work and a lot of patience.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, EJ, since you've mentioned all those, like, I have a curious question. Like, when it's all said and done, if you're done with your career, do you have plans of coaching?
Coaching. Um, I don't think I'll be coaching anytime soon. If I were to coach, I'm hoping I'm coaching because it's my passion. Because
Ah,
I do believe as coaches, you have the power to either make or break the athlete, and I
ah.
don't think I'm ready to take that responsibility. And
Mm,
it's yeah, I have my standard. I met my coach,
right.
so that's a pretty high standard to kind of fill in. So I don't think
Right.
I'll be coaching anytime soon. So it's hard. Maybe I'll help out some here and there, but I'll leave the coaching to my dad and to the other athletes that are hoping
Yeah.
to coach. It's a big responsibility to take.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Kasi your dad became a coach eh. So baka you would follow then in his footsteps. But apparently,
Love life
not
muna,
his
Ken.
cup
Love
of
life.
tea.
Love life bago coaching.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard to coach, man. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's the main thing. It's hard.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's cool though. It's very satisfying, but it's hard. I'd like to be an athlete for quite some time yet. So We'll see.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe one day.
Wala pa sa ano niya, like hindi pa masyadong iniisip, 'di ba? Kasi
Agenda.
he's like focus pa din sa pagiging athlete, 'di ba?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, EJ, it's been a wonderful time just taking us through your journey. So, yun, as a parting shot, I would just like to ask, like, looking back at your colorful career as an athlete, like, what were the most valuable things that you've learned that really helped you throughout your life? And, yun, like, message na lang for the Filipinos who want to pursue pole vaulting and dream of
Yeah.
representing the country one day.
Huh. What I learned at this moment, what's really important for me, if you want to achieve something great, it takes something great to achieve that as well. It's not, don't expect like, oh, I want to achieve something once in a lifetime. It would take you once in a lifetime as well to actually achieve that. It's not going to be handed over to you like a free
Yeah.
candy. You need
Yeah.
to work hard for it. You need to do something special as well. And I think that's something that a lot of athletes would actually understand. For the Filipino people who are watching, of course, I want to thank them for being here. But for all the Filipino athletes who are, or athletes right now in the Philippines who are thinking of representing the country on the right path, hope I'm wishing you all the best. If you need anything, if I can help you out in some way, shape, or form, feel free to contact me. Anytime. But just keep digging in, and it's a hard time right now to be an athlete because with this pandemic,
Right.
sport is not even number two. Maybe it's number five in the priority list. But there's a beauty in sport, and I think all three of us, and like all of us actually that are actually watching here, probably share the passion, and we kind of understand what the sport can actually bring. And
Right.
there's a beauty in it. So I hope that the world would still, when the new norm is back, hopefully the sport will be back as well.
Right. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
hoping it comes sooner rather than later, right? So,
Yeah,
um, I can't wait to parang watch the Olympics because it got delayed nga for 1 year, and for
true.
the FIBA basketball stuff, something like that. Sobrang like and miss watching the games live. I think yun ano like just being part of
It's
the
a different kind of
spectators.
vibe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Super iba. Yeah. Grabe, ang
Yeah.
ganda ng... Ayun, may nag-comments lang din si Vera Villagonisa. Idol, Kuya EJ. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
also from your aunt, you know the phrase kung para sa iyo. Your story, despite the trials and hardships, seems like there is a hand that is guiding you towards something great. Something you or others never imagined or expected. Me and Ama's prayer that you get that gold. A lot of people believes in you. Yeah.
My auntie,
Galing.
she actually teach me how to walk.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, EJ, thank you so much for just sharing your time with us and and the viewers tonight that's tuning in right now. Super appreciate you. I know you're far miles, thousands of miles away from the Philippines, but we are here to really support you, and we're rooting for you as you prepare for the Olympics. And I'm sure a lot of our kababayans are rooting for you as well. And just want to honor and thank you for being a gift tonight to us and also to our viewers. Yeah, maraming
Thank you very
salamat.
much for having me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, Ken,
crazy.
ikaw, meron ka ba Ay, actually, before
Eh,
ka Ken magpasalamat, may ano pa pala
sige.
tayo. Yung po-promote pala ni EJ. Nagpasalamat na agad
Oo.
ako. Yeah, EJ, maybe yung nagpaalam na yun, no? Excited na mata. Pero ito, EJ, baka, ayun guys, if you're still here tuning in, maybe say some thanks also to EJ for sharing his story. But before all of that, EJ, maybe talk us through, no, because you're a board member sa the Athletics
Yeah.
Association. Maybe talk us through that and what does it do, and why do you believe in it, and why are you part of it? Yeah.
So the Athletics Association is actually a group of professional track and field athletes. It was led by Christian Taylor, a triple jumper from the US, and then it's a group of athletes that actually look out to the to the rights of athletes. It's just basically anything that involves athletics or any other sport. We try to just give um, basically a voice to the athletes who doesn't have it, and we try to protect their rights. Give them equal opportunities, and of course, it's the sport would not be there without the athletes. So I do think the focus of every sport should be also to the athlete. So that's what we're trying to do.
Right. Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
really for yung mga athletes na nasa field ng athletics. Like track,
Yeah.
pole vault, yeah. Perfect. So you can check it out at athleticsassociation.org. So, yun. And on Instagram, you can find them at We Are The Sport. Yun. So, and also, EJ, you have your Facebook page and Instagram. Maybe invite our people that are watching in right now or gonna watch the replay to maybe tune into your journey. What can they expect from by following you on Facebook and Instagram?
So my Facebook is this one, Ernest Obiena, or EJ for my nickname, and then I have my Instagram account, which I'm mostly active more on that, but I kind of share both of it in most of the time. So follow me there. You'll see my everyday routine kind of thing and the things I do for hobbies and stuff. Like also just if you want to know me more, you want to get in contact with me, just hit me up. That's something that easier for me to kind of communicate at somehow. So just follow in. I really appreciate the follow and really helps me. Let's face it, it's true. It's part of being an athlete now, and it helps us to get sponsors. And
Right.
I mean
Yeah.
that's the fact right now. So yeah,
Right.
follow us, help us that way, kind of sort of thing.
Yon. So just to clarify, EJ Obiena on Facebook. And then since her sister is EJ's sister is using the EJ Obiena, so sa Instagram it's not EJ Obiena, it's actually Ernest Obiena PV.
Yeah,
Yan. So
true.
so may rights yung sister niya dun sa EJ Obiena. So
Nagbigay si
you can-
kuya.
Ayun.
I love that
Pakaya.
title.
Yeah. So EJ, ayan, I mean naghabol pa rin. Thank you, Sir EJ, for sharing your inspiring stories
story.
from Jean Maverick Cheng, who's been tuning in with us since episode 4. Of course,
Thank you
one of our
so much.
teammates, Kathy. Thank you, EJ, for sharing your story. Naiyak ako. And then, naging maalaala mo kaya talaga tayo ng sports, no? Ayan. So, sa
Oh shoot.
Vera, Vera, so proud of you. God bless. And
Thank you
from
so much.
the fiancé. So, next episode, Ken, you're no longer single. You're already a married man. A married man. When the next time we come up live. So, Ken kasi he's gonna get married ng December 12. So, ito, si Naj is his fiancé. So, sabi niya, I like how much you look up to coaches. It says so much about your character. God bless you in all your competitions. Break a leg figuratively, I hope. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. It's a lot of good positive comments. It's really heartwarming.
Yeah, from Gab, thank you, EJ. Hope to see you next time. God bless. See you next week, Dino and Ken. Yeah. So, pagbalik namin, kasal na si Ken. He's a married man na. So, si EJ susunod sa yapak mo. Ken, si EJ susunod sa yapak mo. Pero dating pa lang naman siya ngayon. Dating pa lang.
Yeah.
So,
Advance
yun.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks
Ken,
EJ.
Ken, you wanna
So EJ, ako
take this
naman,
time to,
sana
yeah.
di ka na, yeah.
Go, Ken.
Yeah. So EJ, first off, hopefully hindi ka na bad trip sa mga tanong ko. And yeah. So nag-choppy ba ako?
Yeah, okay naman.
A little bit.
You're good.
Yeah, so first off, hopefully hindi ka na bad trip sa mga tanong ko, EJ, but most importantly, thank you very much for spending time with us. I know you've been busy with a lot of things. You're halfway across the globe. Sobrang pagod ka sa training and dahil mo pinagdadaanan. But really, hopefully you enjoyed your time with us. And I'm sure yung mga viewers, actually, it's a pleasant surprise. Ang dami nag-comment, dami nagpadala ng mga words of appreciation
Yeah.
para sa'yo. You're one hell of an athlete, and yeah, really honored to have you here on our show.
Thank you very much. You did a really good job actually asking me those questions. That's why I said I'm looking. That's what one of the things I look forward to this kind of things, because I get asked questions that actually it lingers in my head and it helps me kind of understand things a little bit
Process.
more.
Yeah.
And that's actually good.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
Right. Thank you, EJ.
Yeah.
It's
So
yeah, maybe
EJ,
this
now it's your yeah.
shout out, 'di ba? Mag-shout out pa siya. Lagi na gusto natin policy niyo. Maybe this you want to take this opportunity, EJ, to shout out people or organizations that you want to thank and acknowledge.
Right. First of all, of course, I need to thank my sponsors and everyone. I want to thank Nike for helping me get the things I need in everyday training. Of course, Amino Vital. This brand has been supporting me since last year, so that's really good. And they have hit them up. They're available in Lazada and everything. What else? The organizations actually helps me a lot. There's a lot of private people. Some people, most of them don't want to be mentioned. That's really just
Yeah.
crazy. And they help me. Of course, the Philippine Sports Commission, PATAFA, the NSA, the POC. Of course, I want to say my thanks for letting me do what I do and getting me the support that I need in some shape or form. So yeah, I think that's the general shout out. So I don't want to say specific names, so I don't forget any specific names as well. So thank you very much for everyone who has been helping me achieve what I have achieved, and of course, I want to thank everyone who still supports me to get to the journey or the goal that where I want to be. Hopefully, in the next couple of months, we'll see.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, EJ. Maraming salamat for, being here with us. You still have maybe at least half day ahead. I mean, of you. I mean, sa amin
Yeah.
dito gabi na. So yeah, we just want to wish you good luck and stay safe there sa Italy. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much. I want to thank you guys too, for the love of the game. And I always love that name. I think I told you that a lot of times
Yeah.
already. Because, like we share that kind of same passion in sport, and you just have a really awesome name. This should be taken by some kind of network. It should be a show. That's
Hey,
awesome.
thank you. We're hoping it would happen, but yeah, we're just just like you, we're working our way. I mean, you're working your way towards the Olympics. We're working our way to being like the benchmark here in the Philippines. So we just want to be the best as well at what we do. So we get inspiration from you guys. The way
We get inspired
guys-
from both of us.
yeah.
That's, I'm sure you already got the name down. So also, you guys are awesome hosts. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Thanks, EJ. I hope to see you when you get back to the Philippines.
Thank you so much, EJ.
Hopefully, we can keep in touch.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good
Yeah.
evening and have a good night.
Bye, EJ. Yeah.
Bye.
Ayan. Uy, napalaki ka.
Kala ko na master mo na yan. Yeah. So guys, if you like this episode, ayun naman, paki-share naman and like the link of this episode. We are currently live on Facebook and on YouTube. And kung nagustuhan nyo itong podcast na ito, please follow, like, and subscribe to our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. So yan, paki-follow na lang po lahat yan. Follow, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So yun.
Yeah,
so Dino,
I hope Ken mabasa ni EJ yung mga comments, no? Kasi ang dami bumate eh. Kasi I hope he can connect with them. I mean, he's been far away, so at least, di ba, parang dami nag-comment. I mean, sobrang dami nag-comment. Thank you guys for engaging with us and for supporting EJ for this particular episode.
Yeah. So, Dino, actually, ang dami nating pasasalamatan. But before everything else, gusto ko pasalamatan first yung who made this all possible, si Carlo Dizon. So, ewan ko if he's still tuning in. So, Carlo Dizon, maraming salamat. And promote ko rin yung kanyang bagong business kasama si Marlon Tronqued, Casa Made Body. So kung kailangan nyo ng equipment sa inyong bahay, follow them on Instagram, Casa Made Body, and meron din silang website, www.casamadebody.com. So maraming salamat, Carlo, and of course, pasalamatan din natin, Dino, yung previous guest natin. Naku, nakakagulat, ang daming nag-comment. Si Jamie Lim, at saka si Heidi Lynn Diaz. So maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. And of course, the proud family of EJ Obiena, yung parents niya, si Mr. Emerson Obiena, si Janet Obiena, and yung best friend niyang kapatid niya, si Emily Obiena, na nag-agaw ng kanyang Instagram handle. But really guys, you've been very supportive sa inyong Dino, ano yung sabihin mo?
Actually, natawa ko kasi nag-follow si Ernest Obiena PB sa atin. Tapos may nag-follow pang EJ Obiena. Sabi ko, sino to? Parang, bakit hindi si EJ yung ano? Kala ko poser account. Tapos I found out now na sister pala niya, di ba?
Okay.
Natawa lang ako.
Yun. So, yun guys. Yun nga, yung family ni EJ very supportive. Maraming salamat po. And yun nga, nag-comment na si Mr. Emerson Obiena. So, yun. Actually, kami ang magpapasalamat sa inyo, sir.
Thank you.
Kasi you molded EJ to who he is right now. So, yun. Maraming salamat for tuning in. And yun. So, Dino, pasalamatan ko lang din quickly ang ating dream team. Of course, Dino, always a gracious host, leader sa ating For the Love of the Game. Neil Fernando, Ice Kua, John Cristobal, Juan Beltran, Ben Cuevas, Ian Balete, CJ Apale, Kathy Sitingco, Birch Montalvo, Kiefer Idyonko, Priscilla C, Ayesha Pakay, John Kaiser Taylaran, and Arnie Fuentes. Ayan, napaarami na po namin. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. And of course, pasasalamatan ko din, of course, my fiancé, Natch Miravalles, nag-comment ngayong gabi. So yun, follow yun, subscribe kayo sa kanyang YouTube channel, Better Days with Nudge. Every Wednesday din po yan. So maraming salamat. Always supporting me from day one nitong podcast na ito. And of course, yung mga kasamaan ko sa Newbies Broadcasting Academies, most especially Sir Noel Zarate and Sir J. De La Cruz. And our avid viewers, Arsenic Salangsang, Gab Ferreras, John Maverick Cheng, Carl Santos, na kanina nagpa-dentist ako sa kanya. So maraming salamat. And of course, si Fons Navinia, si Carlo Dizon, and of course, si Yanni Moya, Coach Ras Huson, Coach Gina Katigbak, and of course, my family, sa Block 5, especially Monica Rica Franca, Sam Exeke, si Miko Lagamia, si Ronald De La Vega, and si Nicole Yebra. Hindi na muna kita bubugaw ngayon. So, Nicole, kung nanonood ka sa Parakale, so ingat ka dyan. So, yun, Dino, ikaw naman.
Yeah, in addition to what Ken already thanked, I just want to thank, of course, my family who's been supporting me, my friends who's supporting me din dito. Nagpaparamdam sila sa mga episodes natin. And of course, I just want to thank Yanni and Kem who's been supporting me during the pandemic, giving me feedback, honest feedback. So super appreciate you guys. And of course, my teammates from SGV Basketball, Block 5, yung block namin ni Ken, and of course, the Dream Team who's been making everything possible, making our production as great as it can be. So truly appreciate each and every one of you for believing in what we do.
Yeah. So, yun, Dino. So, ayun, next week, wala muna kaming episode kasi imbis na kami ang host, kami naman ang magiging guest sa isang podcast called Off the Bench Podcast. So, this Monday po yan sa December 7, 8 p.m. So, kung gusto nyo malaman kung paano kami nagsimula ni Dino dito sa journey namin sa For the Love of the Game, manood po kayo niyan kasi, ayun, marami kaming gusto i-share. Yung mga trials namin in doing this. Of course, yung mga successes so far. And yun, actually, it's not just about us. Kasi ang dami namin sa team, yung mga binanggit namin. Gusto namin i-highlight dyan sa episode na yan. Yung mga binanggit namin pangalan sa Dream Team. So please, nood kayo yan. Kasi, ayan, marami kaming gusto i-share dyan. So Dino, any additions tungkol dyan sa ating testing na yan?
Yeah, ano lang, just, support us guys. Makikita nyo yung different on the other side naman kami kasi we've been doing it for almost quarter of a century na. So 24 episodes na, going 25 on the 16th. panoorin nyo kami kasi we're on the other side. Kami naman interviewing. We're about to share our journey as well. So guys, support nyo kami dyan sa Off the Bench, the podcast. They have a great podcast as well. That's why we said yes to them. So please support us and you can learn more about our journey, me and Ken. Kasi kami lagi nagtatanong, di ba? Pinapahirapan namin yung guest namin like EJ, no? Gusto namin mag-isip sila, mapaisip sila. So ngayon naman kami naman papaisipin ng mga host namin sa Off the Bench podcast. Ken, and of course, yan, pasalamat lang din ako. Yan, si Monchi from Off the Bench. Yan yung host ng Off the Bench podcast. Sir, see you on Monday. And of course, thank you Vance Clarin for this compliment. One of the best interview ni EJ na napanood ko. And thank you for serving our country during the 2019 SEA Games where the Philippines hosted the SEA Games itself. And of course, kay Naj, of course, for supporting us since episode 1 sa setup ni Ken, FTLO, TGPH, ang smart ng questions, well thought of, pati host, ang gagaling. Coach, mababa na 3 hours next week. Ano ba yung sabihin nito? Hindi ko magets eh. Pero yan, God, yan, nice. December 7, mark na sa kalendaryo ko yan. Hehe, congrats bros. Ayan, Idol, thank you Katan for tuning in. Oy, guest natin from December 16. No, susunod sa... Dami nating guest na nagparamdam
December
dito.
16.
Oo, abangan nyo na. Ito na yung promotion namin. So, December 16, we're gonna have Maxine Esteban on 8 p.m. Same time as how we started tonight. She's like a fencing prodigy. Gamer din yan. Nagdodota din yan. So, she recently built up her YouTube channel. So, you can check her out. And subscribe to her YouTube channel. So, hi Maxine. Ayan, tuturuan daw niya ako mag-Dota kasi hindi ako marunong mag-Dota 2.
Yeah.
So, sobrang bait nitong tao na to. And of course,
Marunong ka, di ba?
Hindi, Dota 1 lang ako marunong pero Dota 2 hindi ako marunong eh. So, I need help. Ayan, sabi lang ni Kat, wag lang mag-freeze ng ganyan si Ken. Haha, joke lang. So, yun.
Ayan, sorry. So yun, so guys, yan na nga, December 16, 8 p.m., Filipino fencing sensation, Maxine Esteban. So balita ko nung pre-interview, sobrang bibo daw nito. So looking forward to having her as our special guest sa ating very last episode of the year, December 16, episode 25 po yan. So guys, so yan, 2 weeks pa yan, but yan, abangan nyo yan. So yan na nga, so next week, Off the Bench podcast guesting namin ni Dino and December 16 featuring Maxine Esteban. So shout out kay Moncho Ampil. Thank you so much. Nag-guest mo kami sa Off the Bench podcast. Looking forward dyan. So yun. So guys, that does it for tonight's episode. So hopefully nag-enjoy kayong lahat. On behalf of Dino Lee, ako po si Ken Pangalinang saying so long, stay safe, and see you next time on the next episode of For the Love of the Game. Bye, guys!
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path. If you want it bad, I'm gonna show you where it's at. Yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done. I'll be number one, working hella hard until I get just what I want. Yeah, rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I won. Yeah, always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.